this video concerning the recent publication of the blessing of irregular and same-sex unions. Though I haven't read the entire document, I just went skim over it when it was published last Monday, if I'm not mistaken. And my take on it is that it's a little bit confusing, although the context of the action taken was very much laid out, and my only reservation is the word used. Although it was very much discussed at the start of the document, however, as I expected, and as this news trickled down the peripheries of every country through social media and mainstream media, the reaction was very much confusing. They are confused because the word bless, yes, it was defined in the document. However, that's why there must be care in in discussing this to the faithful, because of the um, misunderstood, not misunderstood, the disparity of the understanding of the word blessed or blessing as defined by the document, and the understanding uh, a normal, regular, faithful. There is a big disparity to the understanding or to the appreciation of that word. And although I've touched on this before, and I'm actually an advocate of the initiative that was initiated already, however, it would have been more appropriate without using the word blessing, prayer, or my take on this is that my position has always been that the church has no authority even to consider um, celebrating the same-sex union as a union to itself. And I made a video about this earlier, and I'm just reiterating it. And although the document was very clear to that, however, it is also, what is lacking is the foresight and the document is very short-sighted. Perhaps I do not know the intention or behind the release, although the news articles was saying that this was in response to a dubia issued by several cardinals, and this is an elaboration of the response already made to those dubia. However, it at my perspective, it's very, very short-sighted. Why? It did not take into consideration and prepare the faithful as to this, because when they hear the word blessing, although the news items are very clear, the document is very clear, But there is that understanding about that word. I would have hoped that they would have used a different word, which is actually much appropriate because when you read a document, it's actually a prayer. It it would have been better if it would have been titled "A Prayer for Same-Sex Couples" rather than "Bless," because in the document, based on how I understood it, it was um, emphasized that it was something being done by the ordained on a normal basis, like blessing a car, blessing a pet, and so many things. However, you cannot. That's why I say that's why my take on this is it's short. It's very short sighted because it did not take into consideration that yes, you may equate it to that. However, the impact and the influence and the ramification of the document is what is much, shall we say, greater than what it intends to convey. And that's why I said it's short sighted. Um, I would have, it would have been better if it would have been communicated um, not publicly like this. If I and allow each Episcopal conference to be consulted first before doing this. And I don't know the agenda, but it seems someone is in haste. And based on the frequency of all these things, before there was this, although I would be a beneficiary of that because that's why I'm reluctant to participate in any christening or any sponsorship in marriage, even though I was being asked because of my position over the matter. And the document issued last, I think, November, October, related to my situation was, yeah, it's very welcoming. It's because it's allowing, recognizing that 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 intrinsic characteristic of each human person, regardless of their disposition, you know. And that's my take on that because the document was clear that, everyone is, as I mentioned in my previous videos, everyone is a child of God and therefore entitled to his love and mercy. And no one can take the child of God away from God himself, and unless the person or the child himself is willingly chose to do so. And that's why my take on that is very much favorable. And now I can join christening, although I do not mention it because it's so hard to explain to friends or acquaintance or persons who are inviting you or asking you to be a godparent and or a god and a sponsor in marriage. I had several of my students, and I said no at that time before prior to the issuance of the document regarding the that matter, and it's favorable, and I'm basically on the same page on that. And although my take is that why did it took so long for the document to be issued? But with regards to the blessing of the same-sex couples and irregular couples, my only concern is the short-sightedness of the document. I know it was a response, an elaboration, but obviously this matter is a very sensitive matter. It would have been much more handled properly if the Episcopal conferences were consulted, or even be the one to if to regulate this by issuing certain guidelines and everything. The document is very broad in a sense, only that um, the blessing should not be akin to any ritual or sacramental celebration of marriage, like having friends. It must be spontaneous, and which is proper. That's why the document in itself was. I have no problem with it. It's just that the way it was delivered, I guess, it was very, as I said, short-sighted. It did not take into consideration the implication. And although we would like to reiterate what the document says, but the impact and the psychology and the effect on the mindset of those who would not read the document would more or less conclude that the church is allowing the blessing of same-sex couples in a context that is comparable to marriage, which is not what the document is espousing and espousing and asking. That's my take on it. And because, as I mentioned in my previous video, the church has the authority even to consider the word bless is the one that I'm very much uncomfortable with, although it was defined. But however, that is how the document defines it. But for a layperson or someone who, I guess the document should be very much circulated, and so that everyone would be more or less on the same page with regards to the word bless, so that there is no misinterpretation of that word. That's it. And I just wanted to have that out there, and because I made that video before related to same-sex marriage, and I just wanted to react to the document which was just issued last Monday. It's surprising, but the thing is, there is a, I don't want to call it as a rapture or deviation between the 2021 document issued. I was very much aligned with that one, which was issued by the past prefect of the then CDF, Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith. I'm very much aligned with that. But with this, having read it, well, it's it's geared towards pastoral, which was what I was asking. Actually, I wanted to underscore my video that notwithstanding the situations that the children of God may find themselves in, it doesn't negate their identity nor diminish it. And it follows that they have a they have also a equal right to access the same love and mercy which God gives. And that's why I was praying for. It's just that the wordings of the document was very confusing. That's it. Ta-ta. Bye.